the line between public and private education blurs, four political economy theorists gather at the iconic Say the Gate to voice their opinions on the privatization of the UC system. I present Frederick Hayek, Milton Friedman, Wendy Brown, and the most handsome, Carl Polanyi. Let's see what Hayek has to say first.
Frederick Hayek here. You know what we say. If we strive for money, it's because it offers the widest choice in enjoying the fruits of our efforts. But on the other hand, though, with that being said, I'm just saying privatization of the UC system is key to unlocking our economic potential.
Hayek supporters love that response, but not the other groups. Let's see how Wendy Brown responds.
Social justice is the essential antidote to otherwise depoliticized stratifications, exclusions, objections, and inequalities attending liberal privatism in capitalist orders. We cannot let the market dictate the fate of our education system.
Brown's group is loving what they hear. Hayek's group, not so much. Let's see what Carl Polanyi has to say.
As we've seen before from prior authors, markets led to their own devices do not have society's best interests, only their own. Allowing markets to solely determine the fate of human beings and natural resources can be destructive.
Polanyi's group cheering him on, but Milton Friedman looks a little agitated. Let's see what he has to say next.
Government has appropriately financed general education for citizenship, but in the process, it has been led also to administer most of the schools that provide such education. Yet, as we have seen, the administration of schools is neither required by the financing of education, nor justifiable in its own right in predominantly free enterprise society.
There goes Friedman's group, showing them love. As the theorists continue to debate, the crowd grows increasingly divided, mirroring the complex nature of the privatization issue. Next up on stage, Wendy Brown.
Once about developing intelligent, thoughtful elites and reproducing culture, and more recently enacting principle of equal opportunity and cultivating a broadly educated citizenry, higher education now produces human capital, thereby turning classically humanist values on their heads.
Brown's group are all in agreement, while Friedman's group looks a little confused and skeptical. Milton Friedman up next.
A citizen of the United States who, under the laws of various states, is not free to follow the occupation of his own choosing unless he can get a license for it, is likewise being deprived of an essential part of his freedom. The privatization of the UC system is the only way to ensure freedom of choice.
Friedman supporters showing love once again, though Hayek steps forward to add his perspective.
I'm telling you guys, bruh, our freedom of choice in a competitive society rests on the fact that if one person really refuses to satisfy our wishes, we end up turning on each other. I'm thinking right now, privatization will lead to more of an efficient and responsive education system.
Hayek's supporters applaud for his marvelous words. But wait, Polanyi shakes his head in disagreement. Let's see what he says.
As I said before, allowing the markets to solely determine the fate of human beings and natural resources can be destructive. We cannot let the UC system fall victim to the whims of the market.
Polanyi's followers cheer. As the debate intensifies, it becomes clear that the issue of privatization is far more complex than any one theorist can fully address. Fully engaged in heated discussions, the theorists continue to debate their voices. Next up is Frederick Hayek.
Come on, bro, think. Come on, look. It would not only decide what commodities and services were to be available and in what quantities, but it also be able to direct their distribution between districts. Is this kind of the centralized control we really want for our education system? I don't think so.
And the crowd goes crazy for Hayek, while Brown's group looks a little shocked about this.
One of the ironies of neoliberal commodification as well as debt finance investment is that it often draws producers, investors into niche industries and products that are unsustainable over time. Derivatives, bubble markets, bond overvaluation, and so forth. We cannot let our education system fall prey to these short-sighted market forces.
Brown supporters cheer.
So the appropriate solution is to eliminate government operation of the schools and permit parents to choose the kind of school they want their children to attend. Privatization would allow for greater accountability and choice.
Friedman's group cheering, but Polanyi looks unconvinced.
While scandals are indeed a concern, we must not forget that college claims it's just not a private good that leads to increased earnings, but it also confers a host of benefits on society that we don't sufficiently appreciate. Those benefits include improved effectiveness of government, improved human rights, greater political stability, a better environment, healthier lifestyles, reduced economic inequality, lower crime rates, better childcare, and reduced welfare costs. We cannot let these social benefits be overshadowed by the pursuit of profits.
Polanyi's followers applaud, while the crowd begins to murmur considering the various arguments presented. As the sun sets on Say the Gate, the debate continues, a testament to the complex and multifaceted nature of the privatization issue. While no one clear consensus has been reached, one thing is certain. The future of the UC system hangs in the balance. The theorists, looking somewhat exhausted, gather together for a final moment of reflection. Wendy Brown's last words are,
Faculty interpolated by neoliberal rationality are generally unable to grasp, let alone resist, what is happening to post-secondary education. Distinguished faculty who enjoy the privileges of the top end of privatized publics tend to be focused on their own research, publications, invitations, prizes, fellowships, rankings, offers, counteroffers. We must find a way to break free from this neoliberal mindset.
The theorists are in agreement, acknowledge the challenges ahead. Milton Friedman presents his last point.
But today, private universities rely on public support in the form of federal grants to be truly excellent, and public universities cannot be truly excellent without private support. Perhaps there's a middle ground.
The theorists look at each other, a glimmer of hope in their eyes. Here comes Hayek presenting his last point as well.
Why is nobody listening to me? On the other hand, private school boards are appointed to the owners of those schools, whether they are for-profit, non-profit, or religiously affiliated. You get it? So even when they receive tax money for their operation, they're not accountable to the taxpayers for the curriculum they use or the policies they adopt. So we got to be cautious of this potential drawbacks of privatization. They can really screw us over, man.
The theorists are in agreement with the complexities of the issue. Here comes Carpolani.
Their students are customers and human capital to be developed. Faculty members and departments are incentivized to be entrepreneurial as possible. Campuses are increasingly valued politically as the drivers of local economies and of regional economic development and as incubators of basic and applied research. We must find a way to balance these competing interests for the good of our students and for society as a whole.
The theorists, united in their commitment to education, shake hands and begin to walk away from Sather Gate. As the theorists depart, the future of the UC system remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear. The debate surrounding privatization will continue, as passionate minds seek to find the best path forward for higher education.